The Communication and Social Robotics Lab explores human-robot interaction, human-machine communication, and basically how do we respond to new technologies such as robots, cyborgs, artificial intelligence. We also look at things such as virtual reality and virtual worlds, and holograms is sort of a new emergent technology we're examining right now.
The program was established in 2014 by Professors Dr. Autumn Edwards, Dr. Chad Edwards, and Dr. Patrick Spence in a collaborative effort to inspire and progress an interaction between humans and robots.
The lab started out about 3 years ago, and myself, Dr. Autumn Edwards, and Dr. Patrick Spence had already purchased the first robot. And we were thinking about robot ideas, and we had another lab called the Survey and Experimental Research Lab. And so collectively, we said, let's just transform that lab into the Communication and Social Robotics Lab. So it wasn't quite thought out, but it was thought out for a few months. And we already had a lab structure in place, and we just implemented the lab structure that we previously had on the new lab.
They believe it is only a matter of time before the world will be communicating and interacting with robots.
I hope you have a great day at WMU. Row the boat.
We have another project that's looking at medical health disclosures. So we know when people go to the doctor, do they trust that doctor, or would they rather trust artificial intelligence or an embodied robot? Because we know from research right now that many doctors are using artificial intelligence to make decisions and important medical decisions. And so what if the patient was simply able to get that information straight from the AI as opposed to the doctor who's using the AI anyway? And so in a project with Dr. O'Million Hodges and Dr. Autumn Edwards, we're looking at to see if there are differences in terms of trust and how much people think of the competence of the human doctor, the embodied robot, a humanoid robot, or strictly artificial intelligence from a computer.
This and other research that the lab is currently working on, such as engagement of robots in classrooms, has been so instrumental that it has led to the opportunity of multiple publications.
We've had some really good success at getting some publications in both international and national journals and conference presentations. We're really happy in the lab because we have undergraduate students that are getting published research, graduate students that are getting published research, and the undergraduate and the graduate students are presenting both at national and international conferences. This past summer, we had both undergraduate and graduate students present work at the International Communication Association in Fukuoka, Japan. Next year, they'll be presenting to Prague. This summer, we have undergraduate and graduate students submitting to the International Conference in San Diego. And so involving undergraduates and graduate students is an important part of the research process of the lab.
I have presented on virtual reality in Japan at the International Communication Association Conference, and that, if you would have asked me 5 years ago, hey, what are you going to be doing, summer 2016, I never would have thought that, and so that was unique in that that I got to kind of take over somebody else's project when we still needed to keep the ball rolling on it. And virtual reality was their strong suit, and for me, just kind of an interest, but it has now transformed into something more. And so now I've been working with the nursing students, undergraduate nursing students and their faculty to present them in virtual reality autism awareness and empathic virtual reality experience, and watching their reaction and how eye-opening it is to go, oh my gosh, I had no idea that this experience was so overwhelming, that it's a sensory overload that you cannot imagine, that you really can only experience through virtual reality.
Virtual reality uses computer technology to generate realistic images, sounds, and other sensations to simulate the user into a three-dimensional environment. It allows the user to look around, move about, and interact with features displayed on the screen.
Because VR is so new, there's a lot of things that have never been explored. There's an entirely untapped potential of things that can be done. So one of the things that we're doing with VR especially is promoting it, showing it off, advocating for VR.
A lot of people have referred to virtual reality as an empathy machine. And that's what it does. It places you in an environment you've never been in a culture you've never seen, in an experience you could never have in real life. And so virtual reality has been an important part of developing empathy for both healthcare and culture and travel. And it's been an important part of our lab, and we're not quite focusing on it 100%, but it's a strong component of the lab.
The Communication and Social Robotics Lab here at Western Michigan University is one of a kind. And when our lab changed over from the Survey and Research Lab to its current format of the Communication and Social Robotics Laboratory, It was rivaled by only one other program, and then shortly thereafter two, and they were at Ivy League universities. So Western Michigan University being a top 100 research university, it's important that our school not only lives that, but is proud of what we can do here, because it's not just faculty that do the research. Very specifically, here in the School of Communication, undergraduate students are our most valuable asset in terms of the robotics lab. We are driven by the ideas and spunk and motivation and inquiry and the wonderment that is in the minds of undergraduate students. And so when people think of us, they think of the group of kids on the second floor of Sprout Tower, with the Edwards, leading us into the unknown future of technology and robotics. But really, it's opportunity at its most incredible level.